things really kick off between the two. Now, to start things off, you can see for CGN, quite a focus coming out towards the east side, but there's a Killjoy holding up towards the north to stop any weird bat flanks coming on through. Maybe hoping to cut someone off there who are pushing quite aggressively. Right now, though, 3 players still sat over towards B for the side of DSYRE. Means that this should be a pretty quick site take for the side of CGN. In they come marching, side has been established. Control is here, and Spike is going down.
Almost to be confirmed, and it will be, as we hear that go down. Benny is going to be taken out by Tag, though, leaving us now 4 versus 4. And this is all about the retake for DSYRE, trying to come around, but DSYRE's got it locked down as Tag tries to push through Dish there. No success. Alarm bot will be sent out, just trying to work in behind it, but DSYRE is just closing this one out.
He is the difference maker here, because now he's coming in behind them as well, and that's an easy shutdown for the side of CGN. Play is entirely bait. He's just trying to keep 2 or 3 players around B, but DSYRE read it. They've rotated 3 players off towards A, but now CGN, who originally were looking to hit B, went over towards A, have now backed over towards B again. If they get this kill, which they found, that's what they wanted. With Tag going down, B is completely laid bare. CGN are going to storm in here, and now it's all down to DSYRE to try and make something come from this round.
3 versus 3, Spike is likely to go down. 10 seconds left, will be completed, and that is now going to give CGN the opportunity to just hold on here, pushing in through the smoke. It's Caden just a little bit unsure, waiting for it to clear off, checking his angles, can't find anybody for the time being. We see the fault line coming out, just trying to cause that concuss. We have a kill going in either direction, leaving us 2 versus 2, and now DSYRE, they get themselves the advantage that they need. There's an opportunity, Des.
Yeah, Feku's in a great spot here as well. Got to win out this 1 versus 1, though, and obviously the pressure coming on through. Taps on the Spike. Vince sees him. He's giving his position away, but it's a bullet or 2 onto Feku, and he'll be down and out. And there we go. Swings round and finds it. Unfortunately for DSYRE, that round 3 is not going to go their way.
And generally very decisive, but this time just seeing exactly what's where. They've decided they're going to push on to B, which is largely being held by the Killjoy and the utility. Brimstone is just in the wings looking to support, and in comes the smokes in order to do that. But CGN, they are pushing forward nonetheless.
He's got the right idea as well. Doesn't quite know where to look. He's trying to find anything, but cannot find anyone. Still, it's giving them control of the site. The respect being shown by DSYRE. Once they hear the ult come out, does let CGN get control, but no one's gone down so far. All coming out now as well from Feku to try and do something, and it will set Tag up, but they still went out in a gunfight even through the concuss. It's a great start. It's 2 for 2 onto either side at this point, but it's by the looks of it, DSYRE starting to pick up a little bit of steam. Benny getting 1 back, 2 for his team, and suddenly things are looking a little bit dicey for DSYRE. Only Caden left standing, and he can't do enough.
It's 4 online. Surely that is enough to buy them around.
Can't buy around him. You're hoping so they come back to it. I mean, so much so they've called an attack timeout, even with 4 ults online. Yeah, I remember looking at some of the coaches' notes about, what changed between Split 1 and Split 2. And they were saying, back in Split 1, we got a little bit too sure of ourselves. Well, they know that there's a lot that can work against them here, and they don't want to force the issue and run straight first into a couple of ults coming out.
Absolutely not. Vince and DSYRE going to pick up 2, make that 3 as they turn the round on its head. Once again, they create space. There's an opportunity in here to get the Spike down. That's exactly what they're going to go for. Plant completed, and it is looking like another round going towards CGN.
Any chance of having some proactivity with these ults has been shut down as well, because now that both of the Killjoys have got their ults online, Tag's kind of forced to hold on to his for when we see DSYRE bring it out. So it's going to be more defensive, reactive play coming out from DSYRE rather than being the ones to have some semblance of control in this game. 2 players left, Kane and Tag, seeing what they can do. Can't land anything, and Shazayon lands them all. It's 6-0 to CGN, and I spoke about that mental, Tim. It could well be in the gutter.
Line that they can play behind. We've mentioned DSYRE in the last round with that lockdown. That's one to watch, and it is going to be something potentially that could...
If they need them in a pinch, and so far they've done great without them, how terrifying will they be with them online?
Immediate push coming in from CGN towards that A side. You can see the utility being deployed as well.
Oh, no.
I think they're going to get aggressive, and that is their element picking up Feku, and that now leaves us with the Spike going down and DSYRE on the back foot again.
I keep on speaking about being pulled from pillar to post. Same
they really are.
All the utility stacked up on the B site. They were fully expecting to see CGN run there, and CGN have gone, you know what? nah, we'll go and hit A again. And where I do really want to give loads of kudos to CGN here is every attacker's got just that smallest thing about it that's a little bit different. The Raze pushing deep in towards ramp, for example, and taking out the breach for free. Now we're probably about to find Wacky, who has no idea that he's this close. Now found out, of course, for a second. Defender Killjoy coming out on top as well. This is where really CGN have got to decide what they want to do. They don't want to match it, so they're going to have to find some kills or back away. The answer so far has been back away.
Gonna see the Nightfall coming out there. Is it enough for them to be able to back it up? Vince and DSYRE, Shazam, they all say no. No, it's not. And that is gonna be another round for CGN. Gonna have Benny getting picked up by the spike at the end.
Not the end of the world, is it? At this point, they are
really is
gold. They don't care about spending a little bit of cash at this point. I mean, I just saw for a second I missed who it was, but one of them is literally maxed out in the bank as well with 9k. They've now had to spend their way through. But this is what I meant about Element's push on ramp there. They had no idea that was coming, and they're so used to seeing this kind of storm down middle. Think back to Azure in the early rounds when he was starting on North. Here he's come straight down south to join his team, and a good bit of aggression coming out from DSYRE at the bottom of B. They are trying to go aggressive on towards them. There's already a smoke down though. They've got to push through smoke, and they had Azure holding. He can't do it. This is good from DSYRE team. They've got 3 kills.
It's much better. Azure really needed to hold on at the bottom of the mapping gate there. Being cleared out is allowing that wraparound to come in from DSYRE, and all of a sudden CGN, they've got to think fast. Shazam, he manages to get a kill, and the spike is going down, but we will see a big kill come into Benny, leaving us now 1 versus 4, and there's going to be nothing that Shazam can do.
I absolutely love it. I spoke so many times
that was
about
way better from DSYRE.
Yeah, I mean, really, there everything again hinged on Azure being the sentinel, right? He was the one holding the flank. They had the preventative smoke down. They expected that to come out of DSYRE. Whether it's a bit of prep, whether it's just expectation, they knew that this push was coming, but simply could not win the gunfights. And the battle is, because we know they're not pushing in towards B because we hold this spawn location. Look now, for example, they're trying to force 2 players immediately up towards north side, see if there's anything coming down there, and then sent at least 1 player in through mid, the breach in this case. CGN just slowly walking their way up towards A here. Quiet as a mouse. The explosion will come on through. Straight away, we've got the Seekers coming out, though. That's going to be their march on forward from Shazam to see if A is free, which it is. All the utility comes out, and now the push comes in.
Interestingly, Azure just playing this a little bit deeper than last time. He was right down there in spawn looking to take that fight, but instead using utility to be able to watch that rear flank, and it has slowed down DSYRE. Spike is planted, and now we are on that retake. DSYRE looking to have to push through smokes. They're starting to clear, but time is ticking down. Still 5v5. We haven't had that opening kill. We do see the Killjoy lockdown coming into play, though. Great use of that.
Timing on it as well. Like, they've had the site for a while. The spike's been down for a good amount of time. It actually got destroyed off there as well. They must have found it and shot it out. That now gives agency for DSYRE to flood on forward. And there we go. The classic Raze bouncing around the corner. And they almost clean house. In fact, they do entirely clean house. Benny's gone as well. That one's one of those that for a second I really thought CGN had played it slowly and carefully. The Killjoy coming out was enough. But DSYRE, the last 2 rounds that we've seen them win have been on the back of it. A little bit of aggression, a little bit of pace. It's looking good.
Yeah, they didn't panic. They picked their moment. You know, we saw, as you said, that spike went down. They were smoked out. They had to just wait for the moment to push forward. And then, like you said, I think clearing out that lock.
Bolts out, though, so it's not far from the end of the world from DSYRE here. They've at least burnt down some of those resources and got the round as well. If they can pull this back to an 8 and 4, that will feel like a smash and grab operation. Oh, look at Azure. He's ready.
Probably straight out, but not going to find anything. Azure does take down Wacky, leaving us 5 versus 4. But CGN, if they try to push this A site again, they are going to be pushing into utility. We've got Tag playing a lot of the Killjoy traps over there to try and just slow things down on the A side. As you say, nice trade comes in, 4 versus 3, and the push continues from CGN onto the A side, and they are not far away from having the space they need to put this spike down.
He had no idea Shazam was that close. I don't think he even saw the cross. The angle that he was holding as well just completely fell away from him. And this is feeling much more CGN. I love from Azure as well how he's taken that fight on the north side, then immediately wrapped down to the bottom through the zip lines to join his team and watch their backside so there's no push coming on through, which meant those 4 could focus on getting the spike down. Really enjoying what we're seeing so far. Fecky finds one, not at all going to be surprised. Not like he was just a few rounds ago.
That's it, CGN just dipping back to play a little bit deeper here. They know that they don't need to push the challengers. The fade is going to send the Prowler across site, but again, doesn't pick up any information. So DSYRE are just trying to find anybody that they can at the minute. Feku manages to pick up Element, but it's likely too late. The challenge comes in. Vince gets one, Vince gets two, and CGN, they get themselves back.
Round and played it a little bit more methodically. They played for the trades. They had Azuri rotate down and join them. Just things all working in their favor, much better than they did in the previous couple. Just bring us towards that last round of the half, so spend it or lose it here inside of the game itself before we get to see that side switch. And for me,
CGN there, like you say, they recognise that they've faced that aggression for a couple of rounds and maybe meeting it head on wasn't the answer, so it was just a little bit more measured. You know, once that spike was down, let's sit back, let's not push this, let's wait for the fights to come for us, and it paid off. As you say, there's going to be everything thrown at this one. It's round 12, so you might as well, before that side switch comes in. All the utility stacked up on that A side again, and CGN, they're playing into it.
Azuri's just everywhere, isn't he? Now he's holding over towards B, just in a really weird off position as to where he's been playing previously, with the other four all trying hard to commit towards this A site once again, but the utility is stacked up, the smokes are down, they're pretty much ready. Almost connected there as well. Zazzy was just so stuck in the animation lock, and he was like, oh god, this could be really miserable. Still, long-range shots coming out, Azuri creating at least a little bit of attention and draws some of the utility over, and now the full team are rotating over too.
Look at the speed here. Azuri's gone over, done a little bit of scouting and said, look, B is free, let's think about getting in there, but there's been a good response from DSYRE. We can see the smokes have been put out and it's just halted that swing across from CGN. It leaves them now at 30 seconds, losing Vince. Wacky picking up the kill there, and this is a good response from DSYRE to that sudden switch across from A to B that CGN were trying to deliver.
They're just daring them to swing anything here as well, but there's no one inside a tower, there's no nothing. It was weird because DSYRE brought out the Brimstone and then rolled immediately the breach over the top, but no one was on site. They'd already backed away, so essentially for free, CGN rated out 2 ultimates, but it goes to show ults do not determine a round. They're still in a 2 versus 4 as DSYRE have come out on top with a few of these gunfights.
2 versus 4, 1 versus 4 as Caden manages to find the first. The diffuser is going in, but somehow Azuri manages to pick up 3 before Feku gets the only kill that matters, Des, the last one. And then he's able to successfully defuse that spike, but boy oh boy, did Azuri nearly deliver a knockout blow at the end of the round.
I really enjoyed watching Azuri in that half. He just seemed to be everywhere.
Great, pure entertainment.
A one-man army.
Look at that.
These beautiful shots for a start, but it's been the story of
Valorant.
There are indeed. And the second half can change everything.
Certainly can do. DSYRE need a couple of strong rounds.
Game of football as well, Tim. There's 2 halves in that.
Certainly is 2 halves to lots of things. They need a really strong start to DSYRE here. You can see the immediate push coming in towards B. There's a lot of utility getting thrown around the Nano Swarm, just pushing them back a little bit, just preventing that push coming through. As you say, the delay tactics working, but they've got themselves onto site, but the spike gets dropped. As Shazay on Azuri go wild inside. Element manages to pick up tag as well, and it leaves Zazzy all alone. A quiet player so far. I've not had cause to use that name too much, and I'm not going to have cause here in round 13. CGN, they were steadfast there, Des. They were not hit by surprise as that push came onto B. DSYRE, they could not get in there.
It's just a look at the map here. Look how many players from CGN are already on site, ready to react to this push coming on through. They had no idea that Azuri was sat inside of B. They're sitting out here in places where they've now ground to a halt. They've got 3 players on the side of CGN, stacked up here, ready and waiting for the push to come on through that no one is biting into, and you've got Element working his way up on the flank as well.
Yeah, he's going to be coming face-to-face with Tag's utility there, so knows that he isn't necessarily going to be able to push beyond that because Tag will be aware, but if nothing else, it's doing a job of just holding them at bay again, keeping DSYRE from pushing on into sight. Important gunfights in the next 5 or 10 seconds, and they push forward. No idea that Azuri's in behind the corner. It's 1, 2, 3, and that's a knockout blow in round 16.
Is Azuri invisible? Is the man a ghost? That's been the second time so far since the corner that he's been sat on the B site and it's just been like, oh, freebies, hello. It's like Christmas made all over again. Wacky the first one, turns onto the breach for the second as well. Just
I'm going to be pushed from the right as well. Absolute beautiful 3K from DSYRE. Look at this aggression coming in from DSYRE. Feku down and Wacky both picking one apiece up and giving them at least an early advantage, 4 versus 3.
Yeah, CGN, they really wanted to catch them off guard there before they could get set up. And fair play, DSYRE were ready. They were guns up, focused on the objective, and they managed to get a couple on the way through. But obviously now things have changed. They have got the plant going down for a second, but Wacky has to step away. I think scared about the paint shells coming on, raining on through from Element. This 3 versus 3 kind of becomes a micro round within itself, and it's Caden to get the first.
A good advantage there for DSYRE. Spike being planted at the same time. There is utility in the hands of Element here that could potentially be used. He's going to play in behind the alarm bot as expected, just trying to gather that information. But perfectly timed Haunt coming in from Fade there just to reveal that position. Zazie manages to pick up a kill. Not the player that had been revealed, but does pick up Vince and leaves them now 3 versus 1. And Element's got a huge job to do.
Yes, I love the little peek around as well, just to get the information, let them know what's going on. They were exposing nothing there. Wacky even rotating over through tower itself and coming down the other side. Coming on through, they've got the wall they can put up there again to buy a little bit of time. Caden once again has got the read on the early aggression. It's Element taken offline. I'm keeping a really close eye this time though, Tim, on those 2 lockdowns available for either side. They could be the decision maker in this game.
Yeah, we're getting to that point where ultimates are going to start deciding rounds more than likely, and it's a little bit of a game at the minute as to who blinks first and who brings that out. CGN, of course, only needing one round, both of them, as you say, identical use. Just going to be closing out those areas. Orbital strike thrown in as well. Ooh, we do have one lockdown destroyed though. It's going to be CGN's that goes by the wayside, so they are the ones that have to play a little bit more reactively.
Well, I like it. It's giving them access to push in and make use of their own killjoy better. So although for a second it looks a bit like, huh, why? They read up where it was so well, and Wacky goes absolutely smacky onto Vincent and DSYRE, both taken off the board. This looks to be another DSYRE round. Another ult coming out. Wacky fires it out, finds absolutely nothing. And Benny and Shazam have got it all to do here. It's a big ask for them as well to take out 3 and get this fight disabled. It's not going to happen because Wacky's popping off this round, finds a 3, and DSYRE keep the dream alive for a little bit longer.
Trail or whether it gets shot out, it's still just giving away that location and the kill caving quickly on the back of it. So a great round from DSYRE, and this has been the thing for me for DSYRE. As to where it's going to go. Look at this immediate pressure coming towards A. 2 quick kills from Feku, and that leaves us very quickly in a 5 versus 3.
Again, they've invested so heavy is my concern, and so early. Sure, they get the spike down here. They've got a couple of kills. Round is pretty much cemented, but I'm not really sure if the Nightfall was necessary. The need to bring out the ultimate from the Fade, I'm not too sure. Either way, decision's been made. Round is pretty much locked up at this point. There's only Element is left standing, and I'm pretty sure he can't pull off a 1 versus 4. He's found himself a couple, but that still means there's 3 more left to go.
Yeah, we're going to have Caden just going to be smoking off the avenue that they know was being pushed by Element, but he's going to be able to circumvent that, move himself around. But nice once again, just, the molly comes in, and it's just keeping him away from that spike, forcing him into the gunfights, and there's very little time remaining for him to do anything with it. Tries the fake, tries to just pull them out of position, but the resistance is met.
I thought Benny for a second might get himself into a pretty close range scrap then, which wouldn't be bad for him given he's currently sat on the Sheriff. But here we go, the collapse coming in from both sides. And as I said, this really should be a comfy closeout. In fact, Ultimate comes out over the top as well. I commented about this. I'd really like to have seen those saved up, but Element's brought it out a little bit too soon, I fear. That could cost them in the next couple of rounds, Tim.
Yeah, it certainly could do. I think, given the situation of the round, like you say, I'm not really sure how much you were going to benefit from that. But
you're in a full eco round.
This
like, the chance of you winning is like basically nil, so it feels really fruitless to bring the ult out.
Like I get it. You're trying to get something going. You're trying to get that pick that really gets something going. But like you say, you're looking at tough gunfights. Even say the best comes out and you get 2 kills with it. You're still in a situation where you've done on the attack here so far, just absolutely dominating at the minute.
CGN, I feel, need to go for broke. They've got a full buy round, and if they lose this round, they're broke yet again. And then you're getting far too close to things like overtime. Element starts out. That is a massive start for them because Wacky has had a good few rounds here. He's taken off the board. 3 ults still online. Admittedly, not the strongest ults in the world that you'd want on side to make use of, but ults nonetheless Tag finds one, finds two, and suddenly DSYRE look in control once again.
They desperately needed that double, and they got it at the right time. FairQ manages to get the spike planted as well, and all of a sudden, from being on that front foot with the opening kill, CGN, they are well and truly on the back foot now. But DSYRE, we've seen it so much in the first half. He's been quiet in the second.
Oh my God.
And he calls it out here. That's 3. He's gonna be shut down here. Double from Tag. They had an opportunity potentially to look at the defuse, but they just couldn't get it done.
They're straight in. Wacky, he's not wasting any time. All on side, no one sadly playing on sides itself, so gets nothing from it. But Element was there, they didn't expect this one, I don't think, because he found himself a freebie. Shuseon into a second as well. If you're going to burn ults, guys, now seems to be the time. Yet again, though, things are brought down to a 2 versus 2. There's one left standing, and DSYRE can't win it. It's Tag coming up against Vince.
This whole game could be decided by this 1 versus 1 for the first map. And as you say, it's just a little bit of a delicate dance now as Tag has had a great second half, has spike in hand, could potentially do this, wins out the fight! Beautiful headshot onto Vince, and
Main path through has been smoked off, so why not change it? Then DSYRE's rotated up towards Dish. They've just really done a bit of a switcheroo here on exactly what the approach for the team is. And using that underside, they're actually rotating out towards A. They've completely changed up the game plan again, trying to pull DSYRE from pillar to post, because that's where they really stung them back in the first half. But look at the util stat coming out from DSYRE. They're ready for this, Tim.
yeah, it plays into DSYRE's hands beautifully, does this. The turret's going to react in a second. We'll see whether Tag is able to swing off the back of it, tries, but can't find anything as CGN shuts him down in that situation. 5 versus 4, but now DSYRE are aware where the push is coming in from, but CGN, they're stacking it in numbers, Des, and they are finding kills. That's the second 5 versus 3, pushing forward towards site.
Don't they know about Zazie, who's up real close there as well. More util coming out for a second as he gets caught in the Sage slow field. They knew this wall was coming because on every single attack, CGN have this Sage wall down to make it safe to get the cross through. So again, I like the adaptation being shown here. You can see how DSYRE have grown as the game has gone on, but they've got to win a 3 versus 4, Tim.
It's not going to be easy, that much is for sure, but they're just holding the positions at the time being. We have a bit of a trade. Element manages to pick up Wacky, but Zazie manages to find that kill in return, but left all alone. Shuseon manages to get the final kill, and that's going to be a round win for CGN as out on defense.
It's going to be one of those games, isn't it? It's going to be who can have that successful defense chained off the back of a successful attack. Again, this is very much a blowback to what we saw back in the first half. Really good trade play coming out of CGN. You know, I'd have to find out. We've got enough experts in the building to ask. It's just ludicrous, isn't it? Seems to have a trend of following us, Tim. I'm now regretting my decision.
Right then, here we go. We've got a push towards B. There's battles coming in already. DSYRE have tried that split push once again. They've got the spike up on the top side, looking to move through Arcade and get pushed in. But here goes DSYRE. Only picks up 1 before being traded out. And that is a 4 versus 2 quickly. And it does not look destined for the defenders to hold on. Not just yet.
It doesn't actually.
It doesn't.
Grenade coming on through. It does force Wacky out into the open.
That's
Element
not bad
picks his man
though.
off.
2 versus 3 now.
Yeah, it's a starting point. They've got quite a bit of utility still to play with as well, whereas the side of DSYRE are pretty low at this point. They could do a lot of work, but of course not. Tag is the problem. Vince down to a 1 versus 2. Trying to make use of the smoke here as well. You shouldn't get away with this. Kaden comes in, does bait him off for a second. One inside a tower, steps in, finds his one. Can he find his man? This is it for the win. Vince, now is now or never. It's against Kaden, finds his man! And Vince will get the shutdown. CGN will finally break the curse and take first map in this best of 3.
That was so close at the end, and Vince has been a little bit quiet at times, but when his team really needed him, what a step up. There was a bit of me, Des, that was like, stick it, as he was going. He had about 1.5 seconds left to go, but he came off, let it go to that halfway point, soft stop, and then knew that he could get that kill. He was confident, and it paid off. CGN managing to get that lockdown in the end. They were the team that could pick up the defense, but I tell you what, DSYRE gave them a real matchup there on Fracture.
Didn't they just? I mean, first half we were speaking about it. CGN running away with this one, dragging DSYRE from pillar to post. It didn't even look close, and then we got onto a 9-round win streak coming out from DSYRE to say, actually, this could be one hell of a series. That's only map 1 in. That's the craziest thing.
And we're now moving on to DSYRE's map choice. It's going to be split for the next one. And honestly, who knows where that's going to... I'm hoping that we see a few more successful defenses. I can't lie, Des.
Seeing it's good attacks is fun, but sometimes you do want to see a little bit
I'd
of
like
variance.
to see a little bit of success on defense, if we could. We're going to win more rounds when you lose.
I was curious to see what Element rocked out with here, because of course Reyna, with the ability to heal up, to go invulnerable for a few seconds and get out of dodge, a real good scrapper in these early rounds if you feel confident, which Element absolutely should. Straight away, all these players moving up on one, sprints in for the first one, finds it to a second. CGN sadly is a casualty in that scrap, but it has been explosive. And DSYRE are forcing their way in. This is what I was concerned about with Double Duelists just trying to charge their way through, but Wacky's in doing a little bit of work, and on the other side, Benny and Element are nowhere to be seen.
Yep, great aggression. We asked for it coming into this game. Decisiveness and aggression, but Element manages to take out Wacky despite his preparedness. There's one win out on the fight. Element with another, and CGN have got themselves into a reasonable situation. 2v1, 2v none, as Azzy is going to be picked up. Final kill, and that is going to be Spike defused and a defensive win. All we needed to do was change maps.
Apparently so. All we really needed by the looks, it was Double Duelists as well, because this started so well for the attack inside. You know, we had DSYRE really starting to make moves. They got inside the site. And then the duelists arrived from heaven, came down like angels of death and just not trying to give CGN the close round advantage with those Spectres. I think Benny's actually in a pretty good spot where he can change between those guns if he keeps on holding that spot to dance between the Spectre and between the Guardian. But it's a bit of a long rotate coming out here from Zazzy, out towards B.
Yeah, it just looks like, for a second, I wondered if it was just a little bit of a push towards B to see if there was an opportunity there, but I think it was just to bait it out, send a little bit of utility in, and at the same time, you gain that intel of knowing that there's no flank coming around behind you. So rejoins the main body of the force to push on towards A side.
Still managing to cuss a teammate, however, Azuri, again, the man of B-site. He was a ghost on the last map. Here he finds one before Tag, the man of the moment, shuts him down. And DSYRE are in a position here where they should be able to win this round out.
Just looking down towards Elbow, going to move through, picks one up a ticket. Shazam just looking to find anything more that he can. 2 versus 2, gets another. Surely the third is there. Oh my! And what a finish from Shazam. Will pick up the defuse on the spike. And that is CGN taking round 3. And then throws that wall down and just blocks anybody coming through for a repeat as DSYRE manages to take down Tag, and that leaves us again CGN at a big advantage. Conquest will come in from the Trailblazer of Zazzy, but just nobody there to back it up.
That's the problem, and the op was ready. Oh, Element looks away at just the wrong time, but here's Benny on the side swipe, finds 2. Could find 3 if he's feeling lucky for himself, and he's got the assistance of 2 more members ready and waiting. Paint shells come out as well, so he might take a little bit of damage here, and Element comes in for the close. His
and, you know, here we go again kind of attitude. You know, it's not going to be easy, especially when Element's going to come out and absolutely slam you at the beginning of the round.
He is having a hell of a day on that op as well. It's a hell of a day, hell of a map. We didn't really see him play it back on the last one, but here he is flying. The whole team is. I mean, that last round, he saw the 3K from Benny coming from Ropes. The one thing that I look at there and just think is a bit strange is Wacky is charging towards Ropes in pretty much every single round supported by the team, and the one round that he doesn't is the one that they get really stung from that position. That's why this round they forced into it so hard and pushed their way right up. Benny maybe getting a little bit, I don't know, a bit trigger happy there with the ultimate, but Element with the op, he just simply does not stop. Second for him in the round, only 2 left standing is Tag and Feku, the latter of which we really haven't seen come online in this map.
Not compared to how he was as MVP in the last map. He's certainly starting to step up in this round though. First it's Vince and then manages to pick up Shazam, so that leaves us 2 versus 3. Certainly doable for DSYRE, but let's not forget the onus is on them to get a plant down potentially. CGN can dip away and just play this a little bit deeper, and that's what's happening at the minute. We've got the Viper out on A, and then we've just got Element potentially rotating around to mid here, and they need to be very much aware of where that Reyna's position is.
Surely he knows. I mean, now they know because they're seeing the utility coming out. He's going to find one. It's Azuri. Beautiful. He don't lose these. Of course he doesn't. He finds both. Talking about ults,
it's going to be wild.
It's going to be explosive, quite literally. Sure enough, Rolling Thunder out across site, going to connect onto 2, which is a great use of that ultimate. Forces them back in towards spawn. So for now, at least, site is clear. Seeker's come out, connects onto a couple. That's site control established for the side of the Desire. Doesn't stop Benny finding one for himself, mind you. And now everyone else has got to rotate over to join. But watch out for the Cypher coming through Rotes, by the way. He could be a real backstabbing towards Heaven.
Certainly could be 5 versus 4. And as you can see, CGN just
Free,
sort of playing it back here. They don't want to get overly aggressive. The push is coming through from Tag. The opportunity's there, gets one, can't find the second. It's Shazeon that got taken down. Looking for another, steps out and gets Element as well. And that is a great play from Tag.
They all really want to fight him, and he was ready for 3 and 4 there, but it's enabled his team to get inside the site and get the plant down. Caden finds one, and they're so worried about the damage this Cypher can do. Not that it matters, as they've already cleaned house. Desire get another 9-3, Tim. Do we see the exact antithesis of map 1 where it's not the attackers that come out 9-3, but the defenders?
Maybe Desire.
I love the patience here. I would have put myself here. As soon as he flicked around, I'd be like, oh god, oh god, oh god. But he gets away with it.
Maybe Desire just needs
on it down this trend, but as we said, this is the round to fight back and win. But interestingly, what CGN have done, so they haven't stuck to the guns they had in round 2. They've also matched up here with a full by themselves. So they aren't holding back and saying, okay, Desire, you can have this round. They want to steamroll through and guarantee a win here in round 3 as well. Really interesting and very aggressive and full of confidence.
It is, and once again we've got DSYRE playing around that toxic screen again at the beginning of the round and just preventing that push forward from A coming forward from Desire. And there you go, that's exactly what he's looking for, just playing in and around that screen, watching his left, gets the kill, picks up Wacky. There is potentially going to be a second push coming through here, but again, DSYRE just playing this so smart either side of the barrier and just waiting for the opportunities. The barrier's down now, but the position remains the same. Zazzy, Caden, they managed to get one apiece to keep Desire in this round.
Oh, the TP
it's
out.
versus 3.
The TP out was so good as well. It's all down to Vince by himself. So, Desire in a really interesting spot here. Sure, it's a 2v1 and you assume they're going to win this. But they're in a spot where if they can win this one out, then they've actually broken the economy of CGN as well.
30 seconds
what a key spot that would be to be in. Now, Vince clutched out on the last map, Tim. Can he do it again?
He's going to need something big from him. It's 1 versus 2. He knows that there's one just playing up, looking to push it towards rafters there, but I think he's again just playing those common positions. The smokes are really helping at this point. What a beautiful shot over the top of the first. Can he find the second? They know that he's in behind maps now. They know the pressure's there. And Caden is able to play it patiently, wait for his opportunity, close out Vince and close out round 15.
Would have basically set his team up to close everything out in the next round with guns on side versus no guns for Desire. But Caden gets the flip. They get the win. Neither team are particularly cash-rich right now, so it might be a little bit of a strapped next round. It could be as scrappy as this round was. But Desire still at least showing there is still some fight in them.
I feel like economy played, quite a big part in the switch on Fracture because that's a site. A lot of the pressure is going to be coming in there. We've just got the presence of Vince over on the B side, just again looking to hold down that flank, has just smoked off mid and is just going to be trying to keep things cool. A little bit of a back and forth going on there.
Yeah, Wacky really hoping to catch them off guard there as well, but I think CGN just starting a little bit passive, a little bit safe. The key difference being that he spotted a couple of players, quite a Wacky utility too, and knows what's coming, but Benny's come up for the swing. It's a bit of a trade coming on through. Then Benny has been exchanged out, but he did find a player on his way through. Wacky's the one that's been taken offline.
I think Tag able just to get on the far side of that toxic screen was a little bit unexpected there, and then was able to just slip back through, take the little bit of damage, but it doesn't matter because he's taken 2 kills with him. Vince is going to take down Caden, and that leaves us now in a 3 versus 3.
I love this, but it's behind the wall. I think Tag had to check just to see how the hell he hadn't killed him already. The wall kind of being the lifesaver there for Shazeon. He's now working his way on through. Now getting hacked. Oh my god, he's been revealed for basically the entirety of the last 15 seconds. And now they know where he is once again.
30 seconds
Just needs
left.
that support from Element to try and keep him safe for the time being. Shazeon looking to potentially get it down. As you say, the ult is going to stop for the time being. Slow up comes out, kills going either direction. Zazzy picking up Shazeon as the last, and that's going to be a 2 versus 1. Element, we know, can make the plays. The Aftershock is just going to force him out of position. Zazzy manages to find the kill, and that's going to be DSYRE. Here we go then. What could be our last round here. We're going to have the toxic screen straight up again. And that's just going to allow Viper of DSYRE just to play from the bottom there and prevent that push round from the defenders. But at the minute, I think a little bit of attention sort of towards mid at the minute as CGN just decide which side is going to be the one for the push. They're going to take out the Prowler as it comes across from Sky, but that is going to reveal their position. Out comes Guardian Light, there's the flash, but nobody really there to swing afterwards. There was the breach that was in position, but Veku just couldn't find the angle.
Ready and waiting. DSYRE, as we know, just solid as a rock. And it's got two big players ready to challenge. There we go, Wacky. He'll finally make the ultimate workout. Gets himself the one. Still 4 more to find.
There is an opportunity potentially here to push through into B, moving through Heaven now, our CGN, all there together, stacked up. I'm not sure if DSYRE are aware of this or not, but it's likely to be a spike plant by the looks of things as Element looks to push on into site as well. And they've got themselves there. Shazam's going to put it down. Benny manages to find a kill, 4 versus 4.
Benny is having a terrifying map. They've unleashed him after playing Sage on that last map, and he's really showing what he can do here. Stepping in for one more at Shazam to bring down Caden. No clutch potential coming out of him this round. Benny into yet another. This one looks to be done. Wacky could yet be the saving grace. In he comes on the charge. All still online, but 3 players to find. Looks for the one, can't find his man. Benny's got the ult online as well. This looks miserable, Tim.
2 knives remaining on that Blade Storm. Does manage to find another kill onto Benny, but it was an immediate trade. And that leaves us now in a 1 versus 2. It's all up to Tag. Goes in. Is going to look for the half defuse, but no, taken out by Shazam before he can get anywhere near. And that is going to be CGN picking it up 13-6 and taking down DSYRE inside 2 maps to kick things off here at Ascension.
What a series that turned out to be as well. Map 1, back and forth, overtime, like dominance by both teams. This second one, despite it being DSYRE's map pick, I think we really saw CGN come into throne and get comfortable there. Benny especially for me. I can't wait to see the kind of numbers he was putting up because that was one hell of a map for him.
I think he might be the MVP.
Oh, I've got no doubt. Zero doubt that he will be the MVP, but that double duel is comp. They hadn't seen it before, DSYRE. They couldn't have the chance to kind of study it, but my God, CGN showed up with it.
Or I will say, if he's not the MVP, then I'm looking forward to seeing who is, because they are going to have some real numbers if they've beaten Benny out there. Because as you say, what a map he had, just really came online. You know, for CGN, and this is what I said coming in. If you remember, you said, you know, we've had the look at Element versus Wacky, but you've got to look at the depth of the team and who else can step up for them. And CGN coming into a map that wasn't their own, they only had a 50% win rate on it. They needed somebody to step up, and bang, it was Benny. And what a performance he put down.